On today's show, what did we see in Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving's first game together? It came in a loss. I think we saw some good things. We'll talk about that and more on today's Locked On Mavs.
I'm Luka Doncic, and this is Locked On Mavericks.
Mavericks, NBA champions. Bang! It's good, and the Mavericks have won the game.
If you don't believe, you shouldn't be here.
Loyalty never fades away.
And welcome. You are locked on to the Dallas Mavericks. My name is Nick Angstadt, media member and NBA channel manager for the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day. Thanks for being part of the show and making Locked On Mavs your first listen each and every day. We are free and available on all podcast platforms, including YouTube. But the best way you can help us grow the show is to listen every day and to comment anything below. Let us know. How did you feel about Luka and Kyrie's first game? What's one thing you saw about Luka and Kyrie playing together? Talk all about that. This episode is brought to you by Rocket Money. Stop throwing your money away. Cancel unwanted subscriptions and manage your expenses the easy way by going to rocketmoney.com/LockedOnNBA. And joining me, as always, my co-host, writer, and contributor at Mavs.com, the dual dude, the one more thing king. What you got for me, Isaac Harris?
Well, we finally got it. We finally got the first game. Kyrie, Luka, Saturday night, Sacramento.
It's done. The first one.
And I just want to tell y'all that prayer is real and that the Lord answers prayers.
Just
sometimes.
Really wanted Tim to not play anymore.
Okay, I wasn't going down that path. I was talking about the lady in the broadcast that sat behind Mark Followell in game one.
She was gone. She wasn't there anymore.
I was saying, dear Lord, please do not let her have season tickets. That's all I wanted. And either she gave them away or she didn't have season tickets because she wasn't back. But
I like that Followell reported on it. She's not here. Like he tweeted about it, and he's like, she's not in attendance. Not in attendance tonight.
But you know what? I would have taken her screaming the entire time if it meant a win.
Oh, yeah, we could do that. What would you do for a dub game at a certain point? But yeah, let's get into this game. The Dallas Mavericks lose in overtime to the Sacramento Kings, number 3 in the West, by the way. So I think we always have to preference that this Sacramento Kings team is they're built different. This is not your Sacramento Kings problem. This is not your Sacramento Kings of last year, the year before. They deserve some respect. So Sacramento Kings beat the Mavericks 133-128 in overtime. We saw Luka return from his heel injury. We saw Kyrie Irving play in his third game for the Mavericks. Both those guys played 40 minutes. Luka played 41 minutes. Kyrie played 42 minutes. We saw them, both the two leading scorers for the Mavericks, 28 for Kyrie, 7 assists, 27, 9, and 5 for Luka. What do we see from these two?
I mean, honestly, offense-wise, I joked before the game and I said, hey, I'm all here. I'm ready for all the ridiculous Luka takes that's going to fire off if this thing's rusty coming out off the bat. And, they've, won a couple of Kyrie's first few games. Not to say it was simple, but it's hey, kind of throw Kyrie out there in the Luka role. Now you bring in Luka along, and I think it will take a little bit for it to fully click. Long term, I think it's great. They're both, basketball geniuses. The fit is fine. It's awesome.
Yeah.
But I do think they just got to figure out how it works, and when it's more of when to push what button on the floor for it to work. But offense wise tonight, honestly, I thought it was a little smoother than what I even thought. I mean, just on the grand scheme of things, zooming out, they scored 128 points,
116.8 offensive rating, which is great.
Yeah. So we could sit here and talk about some things. So oh, hey, when Luka took this shot, or which Kyrie's more aggressive here and all this stuff. But when it comes down to it, they hit 23s tonight. Luka and Kyrie had 27 and 28. They put up 128 points as a team. The offense for their first games together looked pretty dang good.
Yep.
Their defense sucked again. That's it.
The defensive end was going to be the hardest part, and is the hardest part. They're going to have to try and figure it out. I think you can build a really good championship level defense with Luka and Kyrie on the roster, playing at the same time. The problem is you have to have a couple of elite defenders next to them. I don't know if they have those guys right now. Josh has been good. Bullock can play. The center position is a rotating cast of you're not sure what you're going to get from any of the three on any given night. It seems like at this point in the season, but defensively is where they lost this game, right? De'Aaron Fox in overtime, just like over and over and over again. They're just spamming the pick and roll because as soon as you take Josh Green off of De'Aaron Fox, it's over. Like that, it was done. Like as soon as he gets screened off of him, like they come over and set the pick. As soon as he gets screened, the play was over. He was going to score. He was going to get his mid-range jumper that he's been shooting the ball really well with this season. And a lot of people think he might win that like Jerry West clutch player award because he's leading the NBA in most points scored in the clutch this season. But 14 points for Fox in overtime. Now, some of those came with the free throw game late, so maybe like 10 points in the overtime, but that's still, that's where the Mavericks really, really lost this game.
He was named as a sub for the All-Star game the other day, much deserved. I was really happy he got in. Kings getting 2 players in the All-Star game, which is something you don't see every year.
Has it? But I don't know if it's ever happened. I'm about to look at it.
But he deserved it. I mean, he played incredible tonight. And like you said, I didn't think Reggie had a very good defensive game tonight. But when it comes down to the Mavs defense on the perimeter, you're looking at those 2 guys. It's Josh and Reggie. I will say this, after a couple games watching Kyrie, more closely, especially watching Kyrie more than like the other guys, Kyrie's an underrated defender.
Yeah, he had some good blocks and steals and stuff.
That block on Sabonis was nasty. He's so dang smart on the basketball court.
Yeah.
I feel like I could do a whole pod right now. I've taken so many Kyrie notes of just, because it's like, 3 games in a row now. We've watched every single just minute watching him so closely. Just all the just brilliant stuff he does on a basketball court. But defensively, man, not only is he a good defender, he's not winning all defense, but the dude tries so dang hard.
Yeah.
And I think it could be a little inspirational for Luka a little bit. Like when Luka's, if Luka's, maybe taking some possessions off, defensively, to be able to look across, the lineup there at a guy that he respects a ton, that is an all-star starter, that's one of the best players in the game, and be like, oh crap, like you're going at this level all game, all the time, fourth quarter, first quarter, like that should be some inspiration a little bit, I think.
Yeah, the basketball fit is not going to be the problem, and I think even with Kyrie, that I'm sure by the time you're listening to this episode, 3 games into the Kyrie experience, you've heard enough other people, maybe besides us or outside of Locked On or wherever, talk about Kyrie and then probably poo-poo the Kyrie trade for the Mavericks and say, oh, this is a big mistake. And blah, blah. When Kyrie's on the court, it's going to be great. But as long as he gets on the court, as long as he's going to be on the court, offense, defense, the scoring, the clutch plays, like the things that he's going to do, it's going to be great, and it's going to be a great fit as long as he gets on the court. And so with Luka and Kyrie, I thought that I loved some of the back and forth stuff. We saw Luka screen for Kyrie late in this game. We saw them play off of each other. We saw the Luka post and repost with Kyrie and then kick out for a 3. Like you saw them play off of each other a little bit. And they just are working on this. They haven't had time to even practice too much. They've practiced once? They've practiced once together. And so since Luka's been injured and they've been in Sacramento for these last 2 days for this game. And so we're just scratching the surface. The thing that I think they have to work on a little bit is Luka getting doubled in overtime. And when Luka got doubled in overtime, Dwight was still the one that come up and kind of break that play. And Kyrie was kind of waiting on the perimeter. And I think Kyrie has to come to the ball in those moments. But they're going to work on that, right? That's something that takes coordination, knowing where somebody's going to be, practicing those situations in real time and all that. And I thought the Kings played some of those positions well. Luka had a shot at the end of this game. I thought it was a really bad shot, but it was because of how well the Kings were playing them in those certain situations and keeping Luka there. And Luka missed some games. He's playing 41 minutes with heel soreness that he had yesterday. He wasn't in his best 100% state either.
Yeah, he was a little rusty, fatigued, especially in the second half. And you expect that. It was a heel injury. Yeah. He's gonna, he'll get over that hopefully and all of that. So, Yeah, that's that. I mean, especially when Sabonis fouled out too. I thought, they kind of got quicker on their, on the perimeter and switches and stuff.
Yeah, true.
As far as Sacramento defending and all that. But now I lost my train of thought.
Coming up, let's talk about
there's something else about Oh, okay. I know that.
Coming up, let's talk about what Isaac remembered about Luka and Kyrie next. But before we do, let me tell you about Rocket Money. Do you know how much your subscriptions cost? Do you know? Is this something that you know off the top of your head? Most Americans think that they spend about $80 a month on subscriptions when it's actually closer to $200. If you don't know exactly how much you're spending every month, you need Rocket Money. Rocket Money, formerly known as Truebill, is a personal finance app that finds and cancels your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps lower your bills. Over 80% of people have subscriptions that they forgot about, like that streaming service, like that dog treat thing, like the toilet paper from Amazon, like whatever it is that you're like, hey, actually, I don't need this anymore. I got a guy for toilet paper. So you can go check out Rocket Money, formerly known as Truebill. Stop throwing away your money, cancel the unwanted subscriptions, and manage your expenses the easy way by going to rocketmoney.com/LockedOnNBA. That's rocketmoney.com/LockedOnNBA. All right, Isaac Harris, thanks for making Locked On Mavs your first listen. Today, we are on all podcast platforms and YouTube after every single Mavericks game and 5 days a week throughout the week, talking Dallas Mavericks basketball. Thank you to everybody for listening to us throughout this week with Kyrie, our number one audio week ever on the podcast. Probably our number one YouTube week. The numbers haven't necessarily caught up yet, but incredible. You guys, the Raccoon Squad, listening to us every day, have made this happen and completely changed our lives. So we appreciate you all.
Yeah, and thanks for sharing the show too. This thing grows because you guys are texting to each other and posting on your social medias and all this stuff. So thank you.
Luka and Kyrie playing together. Was there anything that you were surprised about? I guess the defense was a thing that you kind of had brought up.
Yeah, from Kyrie for sure. I mean, even the hustle on that diving for the ball there in the second half, that was awesome to see. I think it's so funny to see them playing. Not funny, but it's just watching them. It's something we all know is going to happen, and just watching it happen in real time of them playing off ball and playing off each other. They've both talked about playing off ball. Luka was quoted the other day saying, I haven't played off ball since my rookie season. A little bit different than Dennis Smith Jr. here. But,
Harrison Barnes, who he was playing against tonight.
Yeah. And Kyrie's talking about how much, he loves playing off ball and playing with the ball. And he's played with literally the best players in the world. So, talking about like KD and James Harden. And
no other examples.
Kyle Korver.
My brother.
Your brother. But just seeing how they work it out and seeing how they play. I mean, two geniuses on the court playing together. Luka kind of took the ball early. I was just watching him like, all right, is Kyrie just going to come down? And there were a few times that Kyrie came down, was like calling for him to come over to get the switch. I mean, I want to see, I'll tell you something I want to see more of. I want to see more of Luka Kyrie pick and rolls.
Yeah.
I want to see that, especially late in the game. Because, that especially, Luka said this the other day. He's like, in this era of basketball, like you can do this now. Like you can do the small setting the screen, like, Kyrie setting the screen, all this stuff. You can do it to get switches, all this different stuff. I want to see that more late in games. But them playing off ball, especially late, it's something we're all going to like. Twitter and everybody, we're all going to analyze so much because it's like, tonight Luka missed his shot. So, I'm sure there's some people out there saying, why didn't Kyrie take the shot? And then one night Kyrie's going to miss his shot and it's like, Luka's the alpha on the team. Why didn't Luka take?
Is this still Luka's team?
Yeah, this is the other side about having two stars now at the end of games.
Yeah,
this is a great problem.
Them playing off each other, I thought that it was great to see how much ball movement there still was. I expected it to kind of like revert back to some of the like Luka just ISO, then Kyrie just ISO, your turn, my turn. But Kyrie's like a ball mover. Like he moves the ball a little bit. And then Josh Green's a ball mover. So going from the roster that we just watched for so long to going to like Kyrie and Josh Green in that starting lineup and Josh Green playing a ton of minutes is like it's changing what the offense is. And that's gonna cause some like issues. Like they're gonna turn the ball over a little bit more than they used to, right? Like what do they have? Like 15 turnovers in this game. The Kings didn't have a single turnover in the first half. Like you're going to turn the ball over a little bit more. And so they're going to have to play some better transition defense for sure. And the defense they'll have to figure out. This is one of the reasons why I'm not like so gung ho on Dallas Mavericks finals contender. I don't know if they have enough like defenders to get there. If they got one,
can they outscore?
They got one more. Yeah, the question is going to be, can they outscore? And your offense has to be next level incredible. They have to score 135 points to win the game tonight. Like,
I was watching. Yeah, well, I was watching the first half there, and I was trying to figure out what the rotations are going to be, and this was when we thought Terrence Ross was going to be a Mav. And so I was like, all right, what role is Terrence Ross going to have?
It's not even signed. The ink's not even dry. Too soon.
We'll talk about that tomorrow. But
yeah, we will.
It's like, but I was watching the game and I was like, all right, Maxey probably take Theo's minutes. Terrence Ross probably take Hardy's minutes, because there was that second unit there of like Theo and Jaden Hardy with like Reggie. The Theo
Luka. Hardy Wood minutes were brutal in this game. Like, just look at their plus minus, like just brutal.
Yeah. Maybe we can talk about the center rotation bullpen on tomorrow's pod, because I have so many thoughts on that. Because now it's turned into just like a bullpen rotation.
Legitimately.
Of just like, yeah. And, it went from Christian Wood possibly starting this year and wanting to be an all-star to now it's like JaVale, Dwight, Christian Wood, some like
Maxey's coming back sooner than we thought.
Trio, whatever. So I'll be curious of what that is. But anyway, yeah. Another thing I want to say, I'm sorry, I've been so focused on this, like the duo of them two, and just fascinated by them playing.
You go.
It is.
I'm gonna let you cook. I'm gonna set the screen for you.
Is how different they are. Everybody's talked about how ball dominant they are, which is, true. I mean, they love having the ball in their hands, creating, their masters at that, but also how different of players they are too, because, Luka, shocking here, he doesn't move as much as Kyrie and he doesn't move as fast as Kyrie. So like watching Kyrie off the ball is incredible. Just the lanes, the angles he takes to, get. I mean, there was one time tonight the camera had it on his, on, like a close up on him, and Fox is in front of his face, and he was like doing all these head movements to try to. I mean, he hadn't started moving yet, and he started like doing the move, trying to get like Fox going, but like he cuts, he loves cutting, and he cuts to the basket, he gets the ball at all these different spots on the floor. And obviously, he can get to the basket and all that stuff. Luka ain't trying to do all that. Like, Luka's like, I ain't gonna. And that's what I want to see Luka later on, of like when Kyrie cooks, how can Luka be moving and cutting and all that, instead of, all right, I'm just going to toss you the ball and kind of chill over here on the side. Now, he can save energy, but still, that's it. But like what Luka does that Kyrie doesn't do as much as Luka loves to post up. And Luka can use his massive body and dominate Terrence Davis on a block like he did tonight a few times. So they're just totally different players. They're two of the best isolation players in the entire league, but they're totally two different players at the same time. And that's fascinating to me.
They're going to be able to score on all three levels, right? They're both 3-level scorers, and Kyrie is like elite in the mid-range, and Luka can get there. We've seen Luka in past years like really hit mid-range shots, and if that's what they're going to give him, then he'll hit those, but he's mostly like the threes and then getting to the rim, and getting to the rim is where he's been most efficient, especially this year where he's posted up a ton. And so you're going to see them cover all three of those levels, and it's going to be great to watch. But yeah, their debut, the offense was good. It can get better. You can see in many different instances where it can get better. They took 50 threes, so I think we're back on Mavs. How many threes can they take? Watch that with this team, but you're just gonna get open threes with Kyrie and Luka. Like Josh Green, Reggie Bullock, Tim Hardaway. If the injury's not too bad, that they're gonna have to hit a ton of threes for this team to be really good and to win some playoff series. We'll talk more about Kyrie and Luka tomorrow. We'll talk about the center rotation tomorrow. Let's do a couple more thoughts about this game specifically.
What's Christian Wood's role in this team?
I know. I think that comes a little bit. Let's do that tomorrow with the center rotation.
Because I'm just like, I don't know what it is now.
We don't know what it is after 2 games now. Josh Green was incredible in this game. 23 points, 5 boards. He had an assist, 4 fouls, and 3 of them probably weren't fouls. Hit 5 threes. Like he's taken such a leap forward. Honestly, it's almost like the leap that Brunson took from the year he couldn't play against the Clippers until last year, right? Like it almost feels like that. It's just kind of delayed, but it's wild to see how confident he is driving, like bumping somebody's chest, like bumping Harrison Barnes, and then just like getting an and one or getting something at the rim, taking these threes, like taking threes in movement. He hit a 3 on the move in this game. Like it is crazy to see how good he's become. And it's like almost like he Freaky Friday'd somebody. And they, like maybe he took all of Kyle Lowry's powers this offseason when they were working out together.
He took that. He took Justin Jackson's floater. He had this floater.
Justin Jackson's floater.
That was awesome. I mean, dude's knocking down threes. Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think of Mavs players over the years that have made this big of a leap in 1 year. Like just Mavs players.
Brunson.
Yeah, Brunson. I feel like Brunson like really turned it on though towards the end of last year.
Oh, that's what Josh Green's doing right now.
I mean, I just feel like Josh had a pretty dang good year, but yeah, I mean, he's turning it on now.
So did Brunson. But
Tim McMahon said a quote the other day on his podcast post trade deadline. He's saying, if the Mavericks make a run this year, everybody's going to know Josh Green's name
for sure.
And yeah, I mean, they're going to have to because the dude's going to play 40 minutes a night.
Does Luka's leap from rookie year to his second year, where we were talking about him for most improved? I mean, honestly, that's a leap, like
it's a pretty big leap,
a measurable leap. There's a bunch more. Let us know in the comment section if there's somebody else that you're thinking of that if you date back to earlier Mavericks days than we do.
Tim got hurt tonight, and he never came back into the game.
McMahon, Cato.
No, Cato.
How many Tims do we have?
I mean, McMahon did take a pretty big fall the other day at practice. So I don't know if he actually fell
Tim
down.
McMahon was doing like a stand-up report for ESPN on the side of like a practice court. Was it Houston or Utah or like he's somewhere where they had red jerseys like practicing?
I think it was the Clippers.
Yeah, okay, Clippers then. Red jerseys.
In LA.
And then like somebody like backed up right into him, and it was like almost slow motion. You could see this guy like back up right into Tim. And then Tim just took a fall to the side of the camera, get back up, and like look behind to see who it was. Man, that was so funny.
May or may not have been John Wall. I don't know.
Just getting one last lick in.
But Tim Hardaway got hurt in this game, so I feel like this will naturally push Reggie into the starting lineup, which
he did in the second half.
I think Reggie should have started over Tim in the first place.
I agree.
To have those two defenders out there, but now we'll see. We'll see who plays. I mean, that would have been a natural Terrence Ross fill-in right there off the bench if Tim's going to be out for a little bit. But they need another wing in there at some point, possibly.
Mark Stein just threw out Will Barton's name as something that the Mavericks are considering too. So that's another one. We'll talk about that tomorrow. See if anything actually happens. But the rotations in this game I thought were really, really strange. And like Jason Kidd's going to have some time to try and figure out these guys. But he kind of started running out of bodies when Tim went out. You're like, okay, what do I do? But the Pinson, Hardy, and Wood trio, like you can't play all three of those guys against a playoff team, right?
The Theo step back 3, I laughed out loud.
The one that went in?
No. This one was a brick.
The one that went in on the left corner, I was cracking up.
Oh, yeah.
I think it was Matt George or another Kings reporter that was like, the Kings just played perfect defense for 23 seconds, and Theo Pinson hit a step-back bomb from the corner and made it. It's like, I am as shocked as you are.
Frank got some minutes in this game.
All of a sudden in the third quarter, they were like, all right, well,
forgot about him.
But Jason Kidd was like,
people forget about Frank,
and then he threw him in there. Jaden Hardy, I thought these are the minutes that I've been asking for him. Like, he made mistakes. He had that moment with Fox where they met at midcourt and he just took the ball away from him. Like, he needs some of these minutes where he goes through it, right? Where he goes through some of these moments and sees what it takes to play in like a tough playoff type environment. That crowd was great. That was a great crowd in Sacramento. I saw a bunch of Kings media people saying like, oh, a Mavs Kings series would be great. This crowd is really fired up. I'm ready for Kings playoff basketball. I don't think the Kings want a Mavs series. I don't think they want to play Luka in the first round.
Who do they want?
But yeah,
they're going to be the underdogs.
Yeah, your options are not very good. But I thought Jaden Hardy, he hit the 1-3. He had 4 assists. Only 1 turnover, just that one with Fox. But I think these are great developmental minutes for him.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, unless they bring in another guard, then he's going to be the third guard kind of.
Yeah.
I mean, Josh Green's going to be their third point, ball handler, but Hardy's going to play that role. We'll talk more about the center rotation tomorrow, and Christian Wood probably more tomorrow.
Yes.
But Christian Wood having 9 points in the fourth quarter, that was a really important stretch, and they desperately needed those buckets from him.
You asked me about his role. That's his role. Give me one quarter where you just go off. Give me one quarter where you just.
Well, it's not even a quarter. It's like, give me 6 minutes.
Yeah, it's like half a quarter, because it was the first quarter of the game on Friday, and then it was the beginning of the fourth quarter on the game tonight. But yeah, he had some good moments. His passes have been really good. He's thrown some really, really good passes in these last couple of games too. JaVale McGee, is he back? Can he just play rotation minutes now?
I don't know. I'm saving this for tomorrow now.
I'm just kind of amazed. Like he did some JaVale McGee things, but
JaVale McGee.
oh, great.
I'm just saying we would have been low key kind of pissed if he went to a really good team and he just came off the bench and like killed it for another team. We're like,
I agree.
All year.
Well, they weren't gonna buy. They weren't gonna buy him out.
Yeah, I wouldn't say he's like killing it, but he's like playable right now.
Well, he's killing it compared to what he was doing at the beginning of the season.
Yeah. I mean, he set the bar really low, and now he's exceeding that bar. So,
and that's what we've done on this podcast. First 2 years, bar was really, really low, and now you guys are like, man, you guys are like listenable now, and we're like,
with the exception of the Majestic. Right. We got the Majestic for the first couple of years, and
quality programming. We just was there anything about this game that concerned you going forward?
No, I need more of a sample size for me to. I mean, well, not that I needed this game, but I was concerned about the defense before, and just still am. So, that's just my biggest defense, my biggest complaint.
Kings scoring 74 points in the paint. Mavs scoring 46. That's not a good number.
No, that's not a good number at all. Hey, we can outscore people. Let's see who's on the buyout market.
It's not going to help this none of the buyout guys are going to help this defense.
Come on down, Will Barton, Danny Green.
We'll see. We'll talk about it tomorrow. We've talked about tomorrow so many times. We better deliver tomorrow. We'll talk about the center rotation. We'll talk
after
about
the Super Bowl.
Talk about the buyout guys, and we'll post it after the Super Bowl.
Who's your Super Bowl pick?
It pains me. It pains me, but this has been stuck in my head all week. And take me home, Pat Mahomes, to the place I belong, Kansas City. Patty? Yeah, I'm taking Pat Mahomes and the Chiefs.
Yeah, didn't they beat your team?
Yeah, they did. Didn't my team beat your team?
Shut up. I'm taking Eagles.
Fly, Eagles, fly. There you go. Let us know in the comment section. Let us know your Super Bowl pick. Let us know everything in the comment section. How are you doing today? What's the vibe? What's the Raccoon Squad vibe?
Hey, throwback to one more thing. Remember when I used to smoke a brisket and the Mavs would win?
There's so many people listening right now that expected you to say anything else besides brisket after that.
Oh, yeah, sure. Tomorrow, I'm smoking 3 racks of ribs.
Am I coming over? Is this an invite?
I don't care. And a brisket. So Monday, it's a guaranteed win against Minnesota. And guys, if y'all don't have tickets yet, this place better be rocking on Monday night for Kyrie's debut in Dallas. I'm excited.
Oh my gosh. I got one more thing. If you come to the game, I got stickers. I got locked.
I thought that was a condom. You come to the game. Wow.
Locked on Mavs condoms. Let's go. Oh my gosh, that'd be so funny. Protect the paint, protected sex.
Wow. This is a weekend pod.
Isaac's smoking it up. I'm passing out condoms. I just want everybody to be safe, guys.
Brisket. Smoking brisket.
I forgot about your smoked brisket curse. Or it's not a curse, it's a positive. It's like
it's a positive.
Hex? I don't know. What's a positive of like a superstition?
Spell.
I guess. I don't know. I'm playing the Harry Potter game. By the way, thanks to the Raccoon Squad, I got a PS5.
They bought you a PS5?
No, that'd be amazing.
The crap? What'd you do? A GoFundMe?
No, I couldn't find one anywhere. My wife was like, we have to play Hogwarts Legacy this weekend. And I was like, okay, I'm going to make this happen. Like, I'm going to make it happen. I'm going to get one. Nowhere. I went to multiple Targets. I called multiple Targets. I called Best Buys. Nowhere. GameStops. Nothing. Tweeted it out. I was like, all right, guys, what's my play? And they're all sending me the stuff that I've already, they're like, Target has them. Like, no, all the websites lie. Don't believe any of the websites on Target. They don't have anything. And then they have like these bundles that are like $200, $300 more than just the system by itself. And like, I didn't want to play God of War just yet and everything. And then a Raccoon Squad member, Ramon DMs me from a GameStop near my house. I was like, drove all the way around and was like, I got you. He's like, I got a PS5. I'll hold it for you. And I went there and he had it for me. I walked in the store. He goes, Nick? And I was like, yes. It was amazing.
No way. Ramon coming through.
The Raccoon Squad came through and my wife was surprised. Like I played it all up and because I did it for like a Valentine's birthday type thing. She wanted a PS5 so bad. And I played it up like I didn't get one. And I was like, I couldn't get one. She
didn't like the Locked On Mavs condoms.
I was like, there's a guy on Twitter saying that he has one that we could go get tomorrow. So let's.
That sounds so sketchy.
I know, but
there's a guy on Twitter who says he has a PS5.
And then we came home and I had already logged it in and downloaded everything. And like she walked in and she was like, and she freaked out and it was amazing. So Ramon, appreciate you. The Raccoon Squad came through for me again. We're out. We're out. Thanks so much for listening to Locked On Mavs.
Peace out.
Boom.